Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm reviewing LEGO Harry Potter BrickHeadz set number 40496 of Voldemort, Nagini, and Bellatrix. This set has 344 pieces, it's for ages 10 and up, and it retails for $25 in the US. This is one of my favorite BrickHeadz sets, and it honestly might be my favorite Harry Potter one, because Bellatrix and Nagini are just like incredible builds. So naturally, after mentioning how I love Bellatrix and Nagini, we're going to start out with Voldemort. I mean, this is a pretty big deal because it's our first BrickHeadz Voldemort. We now have like the two major dark wizards in BrickHeadz form because we got Grindelwald for Fantastic Beasts. And I actually really like this BrickHeadz. I mean, not as much as the other ones. It's kind of basic because it's got no hair. And, you know, like hair is like the defining feature of BrickHeadz. But it's kind of interesting to see one that's so smoothed over. I really like the printed pieces for him. I like that they're doing like the green robe instead of the black robe. It just makes it more interesting, and I think he looks a little bit cooler. And then you have his little nose here, and I think he's really cute and obviously a little bit creepy. He's holding his white wand there pointed forward like he's casting a spell. And then the other thing that's really interesting is kind of like the way his robe back is built. I wish it was a little bit bigger because I feel like the slope is a little bit abrupt, but the way that that's built is, I mean, it's really simple. It's not anything complex, but it's just something new to other BrickHeadz, and so I like that variation. And then, of course, his stand is just the same as any standard BrickHeadz. I really like creature BrickHeadz, like Nagini, like Buckbeak, you know, like Blue from Jurassic World, because it forces the designers to get out of kind of like that pre-established style. And Nagini really breaks the BrickHeadz style the most. There's very little that's recognizable about this except for kind of the head, but it's built in a very interesting way that's not like any other BrickHeadz. And you can see there's a lot of like curved slopes going on here. I love the sand green color scheme. And there is a nice printed piece for like some scale detailing. What I also love is that, like I said, it's built in like a completely different way, which includes Technic pieces. So getting to like use Technic pieces and connecting the head like this instead of, you know, like with a stud was pretty interesting. And the other thing I want to call out is there is like this, did not mean to break that, but there is this newer piece that I haven't seen before in person, but I'm not sure when it came out. I think it's only like a year old. The 1x1 brick with an axle pin in it. And then here you can see Nagini's brain, which again is kind of on its side and not just in a straight kind of like studs on top orientation. So I actually really like the way the head was built because it was super interesting. But even though Nagini is incredible, I think that Bellatrix is the standout here. This figure is done so well. I think that this is like my #1 favorite BrickHeadz. Because you can see they even got her sunken eyes by just putting these circular tiles on dark tan 1x1 plates. The way that they built her chest is super interesting. So she has a printed piece over here. I kind of wish there was a print down here as well. If I had to nitpick one thing, it would be that this is a little bit plain. But the way that they built her chest and, you know, got that low neckline of her dress in there, it's very interesting. They use scroll bricks and like upside down cheese slopes. It's a very clever design for something that could have just been a print. Like there was no need to build that. That could have been a print. So I really love seeing that like actual like built detail in these. And I'm gonna like try to break her open so I can show that to you guys. But now let's get to her hair. I'm just gonna take her off the stand because it's easier to hold. But her hair is insane. Like the way it's built is kind of like the Clayface Splat Attack set with all of these different rounded 2x2 plates and studs. And it just creates this really awesome cascading look all around. You can see an ear poking out here. You do have like the dark tan highlights, which are like kind of harder to see in the movie. And using dark brown for the hair color here, I was unsure about that because her hair is definitely like closer to black in the movies. And her minifigure uses black. But here, black would have blended straight into the body, so I do really like the dark brown, and it looks better in person than I was expecting, so I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. And like I said, I do want to dissect Bellatrix a little bit. I hope I'll be able to put her together after this, but to get that like kind of overhanging hair bit, they literally just use a 2x6 plate, so it was very interesting to build this up, and I mean, that's kind of demonic with half of her face removed, but I want to remove the other half so that we can get in to how her chest is built, but I have no nails. All right, there we go. Now you guys can see. So you've got scroll bricks in there, which kind of fill up the space behind this upside down Technic brick. And that Technic brick, like with Nagini, like you can see how that's built, where you just kind of build this on top and then you slide it upside down. So again, that could have been printed. I was not expecting any kind of intricate build like that in this set. So I am thoroughly impressed by what the designer has done here. And to me, that is what makes this the best BrickHeadz set. And of course, everything just fell apart. Here are the extra pieces. Much like the Hagrid one, we do have kind of like repeats of the same prints, which is nice to see. Here's the box for this set. I really like the side art showing them from the movie. Again, like I said on my last review, it just makes me want to watch the movies again. And you'll see here, Nagini isn't really an accurate color scheme, but I don't mind that because like doing Nagini in like brown or olive green, I think wouldn't look as interesting as this one does, which is also why I think they chose to make Voldemort in the dark green robes that he never actually wore in the movie, I think, just because it's a more interesting figure to make. And here are the 3 separate instruction manuals for this set to kind of like encourage family building. On the back of this one, we've got the Hogwarts connection for 2021. And on the back of this one, we just have an advertisement for this same exact set. I think that that's really weird. I don't know why they wouldn't advertise the other Harry Potter BrickHeadz set on the backs of these, but I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. So overall, this is a pretty fantastic set for $25. I don't think you can do much better. Between the 2 new BrickHeadz sets, I would definitely pick this one over the Hagrid one because this is the first time all 3 of these characters are being represented as BrickHeadz, and they are pretty much perfect. Like, I don't really have any complaints here. I mean, if I really want to find something to nitpick, it's that Nagini and Voldemort aren't very screen accurate, but I don't care because they're still like perfect renditions of the character. And then maybe Nagini could have had like more printed pieces along the side. But again, that's if I'm looking for something to be annoyed about. But I'm really just quite happy with how these turned out. I hope more Harry Potter BrickHeadz are made in the future. They've been surprisingly like conservative with them when it comes to like more so than when it comes to other themes. But I'd really love to see some other characters done in BrickHeadz form, like a random Death Eater. But that's it for today, so don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com. I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.